So AMD just released their Zen 3 CPUs, with the big winner being the 5600X. Great performance, not the price that we were hoping for, but outclasses Intel in terms of raw gaming performance while still keeping core counts relatively high. Now we've actually got a leak from a seemingly disgruntled AMD employee on Reddit about some possible leaks on Zen 4. If you want to check out the post, I will leave it in the description, but I'm going to be going over each item that is covered in the post and giving my thoughts on it. Okay, first thing everyone wants to know is pricing, and unfortunately, pricing is usually the last thing that AMD decides before putting it out on the shelf, so we probably won't see that until much closer to the release date. The first thing the post talks about is the release date. That's probably a big thing for everyone. Now, a lot of people, including myself, thought that we were going to get new CPUs by the end of next year, right? Traditionally, it's been one release every single year. Zen in 2017, Zen Plus in 2018, Zen 2 in 2019, and Zen 3 now in 2020. Unfortunately, according to the post, it looks like we're going to have to wait until Q3 2022 to have these CPUs on shelves. That is extremely late compared to what we were thinking. Now, there are a few reasons for this. Number one is to outshine Intel, and number two, the more probable one, is to make sure that their trump card, which to beat Intel obviously, is perfect so that when they release it, it's not going to have any issues and it's going to deliver big results. Now, internally, AMD believes that Intel is going to have a 7nm chip ready to hit shelves in 2022, and a very possible reason why they would want to release in 2022 is to drown out Intel. They want to have all the press coverage, cover them instead of Intel, and just kind of drown them out and make Intel seem like a bad choice like it always has been, and all the AMD CPUs get praising and glory and stuff like that. The second reason, and probably the more probable one, is because AMD wants to fine-tune their trump card, which is called Infinity Fabric 2.0. And the reason I say that in quotes is because that's just what is known as internally, and it may not be actually like that in marketing. From the post, quote, "What it actually is the culmination of all of our efforts since Zen 1 in architecting a solution to instruction starvation. Essentially, AMD isn't looking to beef up their cores, which is just going to be a die shrink of Zen 3 onto 5nm. The post also says that the Zen 3 IMC and the Zen 2 IMC are very similar because AMD got a lot of performance out of Zen 3 due to architectural changes, so they wanted to save their trump card for another generation to outclass Intel when they release their 7nm chips. So Zen 4 will support DDR5, which we already know, and have a beefed up 7nm IMC, which AMD is pushing to hopefully reach an F-clock of 3300 MHz. That means at a 2-to-1 DRAM to F-clock ratio, we will see memory target speeds of 6600 MHz compared to Zen 2's 3600 MHz. Now obviously that is DDR5 versus DDR4, but I still feel like this will bring a massive increase in performance. And this is why AMD wants to push back the release date. They want to test various memory configurations and get this IMC working very, very well so that there are no problems on launch. And they want to push memory clocks as high as possible, with the post saying, quote, "We expect enthusiasts to be pushing 7000 MHz as we have been having promising results internally." Another big thing that I think will be very promising is this, quote, "The package will be surrounded by 4 CCDs with an absolutely gargantuan pool of L4 cache. We have heavily leaned into L4 this time around as Radeon has done." Now this tells us a few things. First, AMD's Smart Memory Access, where AMD Ryzen 5000 CPUs can access the full memory of AMD RX 6000 GPUs, is done through L4 cache. And second is that we could see a potentially enhanced version of this in Zen 4. L4 cache is cache that feeds out of L3 cache and is accessible by both the CPU and GPU for an implied increase in performance. Now earlier I said that the F-clock increase would be a pretty big increase in performance, and here's why. With Zen 4, the post says that we should see about a 30% increase in IPC. I'm assuming that means a 30% increase over Zen, not Zen 3, because that would be a total Intel demolisher. Even still, that shows just how good the IMC improvement is. The post also says, quote, "About 4% of this is minor core optimizations, and the rest is entirely the result of the Infinity Fabric and memory overhaul. We think by the beginning of 2022, we will be approaching 40% overall IPC improvements." Okay, lastly, some more minor details. The post writes that there will be no plan for 4 threads per core, even for post Zen 4 as of now, and PCI 5.0 isn't out of reach, but isn't likely to be implemented with Zen 4. The focus is on memory and cache, as it should be, and we'll also probably see a new socket. This hasn't been mentioned, but considering that AMD has gone through 4 generations of Ryzen CPUs, plus another one for Bristol Ridge on AM4, it's probably time for a new socket. Alright, that's it for Zen 4 leaks. If you did enjoy, thumbs up, subscribe down below for more tech content, follow me on Twitter at RealBrandonYen. Alright, see you guys next time.